Okay, now that we have both our plan sheet and our plan and profile sheet set up, um, let's go ahead and just do a little cleanup. Obviously we're going to keep coming back to these sheets, and we'll do a separate video on labeling and that sort of thing. But let's just clean things up a little bit here. I think we'll go ahead and again rotate that view. Okay. Now, remember, we were saying whatever is referenced into I'm sitting in the sheet plan sheet model. But remember, I need to be here at the default to change levels, do that sort of thing. So, and that includes the aerial. Now, there's a couple ways that I could lighten up the aerial. One would be if I wanted that aerial to be light in any file that I go into within my job, then I would actually just go into the aerial DGN direct, and I would go to raster manager, and I could, you're not seeing it here because I'm not in the aerial file, but I would select the name, I'd go to utilities and set the transparency. So we could do that, but if I did that, it would be that way for everything. And so I don't necessarily want to do that in this case, so I'm going to lighten up that aerial just for the plan sheet. And so if I want to do it just for the plan sheet, then what I can do is go to my references here, and then I'm just going to select that reference file, and then I can come over here to transparency, and I can set the transparency right there. I'll set it to 50 or 60%. We'll just do 50 for now, I guess. Let's see, do you see a difference? Let me do something more drastic so you can tell. Let's do how about 70? What's that look like? There, so you can kind of barely see it. So we'll try maybe 60. That'll just make it pretty faint. You can always change that at any time. So yeah, that's how you can set the transparency just for the plan sheets. Okay, now I could have also done that. I guess while I'm here, I might as well show you. We'll probably show you this again later, but you can go to level manager, not level display, but level manager, and the time that you would want to do this for so I just showed you like 3 ways you could set the transparency in the aerial file itself, in the reference file, so that's going to affect every reference file, in all elements within the reference file. Now if that would have been something else like topo, and say I only wanted, say, edge of pavement and edge of shoulder to be transparent but nothing else from that file, instead of going to the reference dialog, I would have come here to level manager and just select the topo file here, and then I'd find the level that I want to change the transparency on, and I could do the same thing there. So the only thing that's transparent is just the edge of pavement, something like that. But we'll come back to that. Just kind of jumping the gun showing you that, but it's all, I just wanted to show you that there's multiple locations where you can set transparency. And that's just in the view. There's also ways of setting transparencies and plot drivers, but we won't go there. And there I go talking about all the options. Again, I'm trying to keep these videos a little shorter and only talk about what we did on this job, but that's kind of hard to do. Plus, I do assume that you probably would like to know, some of these other fundamentals as I go anyway. So we'll just keep going. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I set the transparency, so that's one way of cleaning it up. Next, I'm going to take a look at that sheet model again. And if I want that aerial to show, I probably want to kind of widen this out. See how you're not seeing any aerial here? What I probably would have done is went back here and then used my microstation commands under drawing, modify, and I can just pull these out. And I know I'm going to mask it, so really I can just pull these out a little further than what I even need. Won't hurt anything. I might need to pull this one down a little bit too. And maybe this one. Okay, now let's go back. There, you see how it's expanded out further? So now what I can do is, this is in the sheet, not the other one. I could go into, and I could select each one of those areas, and I could fence the area that I want to not show. So this is, right now I'm only working on that top one. In fact, I could even turn the display of the bottom one off. So what I'm saying is that, okay, I'm not going to go back and forth trying to get that boundary just right, that name boundary. Instead, to me, it's easier just to come in here and fence the area that I don't want to see. And what I'm doing under references, I just selected it there, tools, clip mask, clip, same deal. Which one's clip mask? I'll go to there. Clip mask. There we go. And then I could do the same one, or same thing for the bottom plane. There, so you can see we're getting close. And I won't get it perfect for this. I just mostly want to show you how I did it. And then I look around, say, okay, what else looks like it could be fixed? What I probably would have done here before I clip mask that, I could still see that I probably still need to move that plan view just a little bit more than I did. So I could go in there and pick it up and move it again to maybe down a little bit further like that. And then I say, oh, well, I masked that out. Well, no problem. You can just go back and delete that oh, here, I better show you this. Here, this is a reference dialog, so I selected that reference file, and then I can right click and say delete the previous clip that I did here. See how it, all that is always still there. It's just masking it out in this file so you don't see it. And then I might want to place another fence now that I've moved the whole reference file. And we can mask it. There we go. So that's starting to look pretty good. For some reason, this match line, probably because I moved this thing around, the match line station is not matching up anymore. So I need to clean that up. But this text here, it's not actually in the Sheets model. That's that part of that annotation group. And so I'm going to go to the drawing model, and that's where it's located. So I can pick it up, move it into place. Again, just minor, clean up. Just, the automation on it is nice. It gets it real close, but sometimes you still have to just clean things up a little bit. Let me look at that sheet again, see what else we can do to clean this thing up. Yeah, I see how I'm clipping off that north arrow a little bit. So in that case, I want to go to the drawing view, number 1, and I can grab that north arrow, which again is part of that annotation group. I can pull it down, and then when I go back into the Sheets model, I'll notice that it's where I want it to be. Oh, let's see, what else could we do? One thing, and it doesn't actually look bad here. You will notice that occasionally, and quite often, in fact, I'm kind of surprised that this didn't happen. Because the curve data itself, it's in the alignment file. It's not in this file. And then it just automatically rotates in place, which is great. The only issue is that sometimes that curve data comes in like off the sheet. That's something that's just very common. And if that's ever the case, then you might decide, well, I want to place the curve data in the sheets, and I just want to turn the levels off that have all the curve data. So I'm not looking at the curve data in the alignment file. If I need to manipulate it because maybe I have something else going on here, I can't do that in the alignment file. So you may just have to copy it here. Let's see if this will work. I think this is where we copy it. Let me try that, see what happens. Yeah, that worked out okay. And I could do that with all the annotation. And then what I would do is I'd just go back and take this annotation level that's coming in from the alignment file. And I would go to level display. I would select the alignment file. And I would turn it off there, which is notation. Now, if you're going to do that, you probably need to copy in all of that notation, not just the curve data, but the PCs, PTs, all that sort of thing. But notice when I go back now that this curve data is still available here. And that's one way I copied it. There are other ways of placing curve data as part of annotation. It's like a different way of doing it. But mostly this works. So we will do that. But now notice that it's actually in this drawing model. It's not in the alignment file, and I can move that around. There's more we can clean up again, but it's kind of the same thing over and over again. We could go to that match line. Again, I'm going back up here. I'm going to highlight that and just move it into place. And it would have come in just right. It's just that I had moved the reference file around, and so it took the plan view but not the annotation with it. So that's the only reason why I had to clean it up a little bit. We can go back to the sheets model and maybe clean up that aerial again with a clip mask. I think I had already clipped that, so if you want to get rid of the old clip mask, we'll just delete clip of that first one that I did right there. Okay, and then same for here. You can see that, with the fence, you can clean it up, get it looking real nice. You can see that the aerial's transparent. You see this is coming along nicely. I think while we're here, I noticed that I didn't update this information earlier from that previous video. Maybe we'll go ahead and do that. And you can copy this information from other sheets. So I'm going to right click, go to properties, and then I can just copy and paste that same information so I don't have to paste it. Or so I don't have to type it. I can just paste it. Oh, I guess not. Oh, I'm not in the editing mode. So I am now. And then here I'll just place, or I'll just type plan sheet. Again, I can exit that, and then you can see that time I didn't have to hit update sheet model properties. It just automatically did that for me as I zoomed out a little bit. So there you go. It's looking pretty clean. I'm to a point now where I can go out on a field check and I've got something to take with me. I can go to print organizer and just print out whatever sheets that I want as PDFs. Send that to, depending on where you save it. If it's on your SharePoint site, you may just go out to the field with the iPad or your phone and go to SharePoint if you've got that on your phone and bring it up that way, or you can print it out, of course, print out the PDF, take that to the field, however you operate. But in any case, you have your plan sheets and plan and profile sheets now set up. The other thing that we're going to do that we do, obviously, we do have to come back and add still a lot of work to these sheets, but at least they're set up for a field check. Once we do some of our design work, then we'll come back and start labeling our sheets. And we are going to be doing all of our labeling in the drawing model. And we'll talk about some, like intelligent labeling, so you don't have to figure everything out and type it in. We will cover civil labeler and things like that, where we'll automatically know what the station offset is. So anyway, that's it for sheet index.